All right, good evening. And thank you so very much, Mr. Walsh, for joining us this evening. My name is Pam Port of Speak Up and Vote, and this is.
And I'm Sherry Williams of Speak Up and Vote.
So, the one of the reasons that we asked you to come on and speak tonight is because we've been running a voter registration campaign in Joliet for the last 3 months.
Okay.
And we've actually had 23 different voter registration events. And our whole goal was to be able to get the underserved population registered and able to vote. And so with that, we were out on we call it the campaign trail. And it was because while we were out there, we were talking to constituents and they were giving us reasons as to why they will, or some of the reasons why they didn't want to vote. So we spent the bulk of our time trying to share with them reasons why they should vote.
Okay.
All right. So with that, one of the things is we found out that their biggest issue was they know people, they know your faces, but they don't really know what you do. And they don't ever see a lot of the people that, that actually come out, that want them to vote for them, but they never see them throughout the cycle prior to election. So we thought it would be advantageous for us to be able to do many meet the candidates forums with you all, because we knew we couldn't get together, out in public. So we thought it would be conducive for us to do these at home. Okay.
All right.
That's where this came from. All right. So if you could just introduce yourself and basically take about a minute or two and share what it is that you do and what areas you cover.
All right. So I'm Representative Larry Walsh. I represent the 86th district of the House, which is predominantly all of Joliet Township, Troy Township from Interstate 55 to the east. I go to Shanahan Township, which goes all the way over to the county line. And then I have Jackson Township to the south that goes down to the Jackson-Florence Township line. So, I mean, basically I run from pretty much, for the most part, Theodore Street all the way south to the Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery.
Okay.
I've represented this district now for a little over 8.5 years. Been a strong supporter of many, many, many community service programs throughout the district. I chair public utilities. So there's a lot of stuff going on with energy that's taking place in Illinois right now. To the west of me, I have the Dresden nuclear plant, and to the south of me, I have the Braidwood plant. And the nuclear facilities provide many, many jobs. And that's pretty much, I'll be honest with you, that's what I've been focused on for the last pretty much year and a half, is trying to come up with an energy bill that's going to retain our assets that we have here in the state of Illinois. But on top of that, putting a transformation in for renewable energy and working through that. So that's pretty much what I do.
Okay, great. So let me just ask you this. Since you've been doing this for 8.5 years, what grade would you give yourself?
Pardon me?
Since you've been doing this job for 8.5 years, what grade would you give yourself?
Oh boy. For my district, I guess I'm going to float my own boat and say an A.
Okay.
We passed the Capitol bill a year ago that brought just on roadside for horizontal infrastructure about $2.2 billion to Will County. 1.2 to 1.5 billion was just in my district alone.
Okay.
On the vertical side, so that's buildings, schools, different other stuff.
Okay. Okay.
It was
Thank
probably in the tune of about 50 to 65 million dollars. I was one of the key players in putting the capital bill together.
you. Okay. Good. Questions about that. So
and-
just one moment.
Now,
One
granted,
moment.
here's what I'm going to say
Okay.
is this stuff just doesn't happen overnight. These are dollars that are allocated as time progresses. We put a 6-year capital bill together. And so there's bonding issues and other things that take place to get those dollars released. But at the end of the day, my district was well taken care of. And
Okay,
that
well, wait one
goes
second,
to the-
because we got to get to some more questions here. We got a limited time, but no, we appreciate that.
I got all the time in the
Sure.
world.
I know. Go ahead, Sherry.
Well, I'm hearing you saying that because as a constituent, I am in your district, and I don't know about an A, but so I'm maybe an A minus, maybe a B. So so I'm not so sure about that grade. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you face?
What are the biggest challenges I face?
Yeah.
Trying to keep, here's the biggest challenge that I face personally and as a representative is trying to keep legislative process in a pragmatic way. And I'm not one that listens to the news anymore. I don't watch network news, whether it's MSNBC or Fox or whatever. It polarizes people. The way to get things done is you sit down with your colleagues and you work to try to find a solution that, one, you can pass. Secondly, that everybody gets a piece of the pie. Nobody's completely happy. But at the end of the day, we move forward.
Okay.
And that's been my biggest struggle is trying to find that pragmatic. You know, it all comes down to common sense, and this is what we've got to do.
And I'm sorry, it seems like it's a little lag with Zoom tonight. So if I interrupt, I apologize. It seems like it's a little, maybe a 2-3 second lag. Okay, I just have a quick question. What's your biggest concern for the district? And how would you resolve that in 1 minute?
So right now, our biggest problem within my specific district is transportation and infrastructure. My district is the home of the largest inland port in North America. And it's been a huge transformation that we have not been set up to handle. So I live down in Elwood. I drive up 53 every day. And when you get to 53 and 80, or if you're coming out of Joliet on 53 to go down to Laraway Road, it's a nightmare.
It is.
Nightmare is an understatement.
And so and here's what I'll tell you is we had a shortened 3-day session at the end of May that was basically supposed to take care of immediate issues, specifically the budget. I got a call that says, hey, we need to get this done. And this was for the Hobart Road interchange, or the Hobart Road Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to go to leadership. I need to get this done. We got a bill. We passed it. It went to the Senate and passed, and the governor signed it to make sure that that Hobart Road Bridge can start construction. That's not something that just happens when you're on a shortened schedule. So, again, I'm not. I am blowing my own horn, but that's the things that I'm able to do. But our biggest issue within the Joliet region is how do we get a grasp on this new industry that's coming into our area? And my biggest beef with them, and I've stated this, it's on record, it's on YouTube, is the quality of jobs.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. And I had these conversations with these people, these companies, is, you know what? My Caterpillar is not there anymore. You know, my Johns Manville is half of what it used to be. You're coming into my district, you're going to employ hundreds of people. I want them to make a livable wage. I do not want to subsidize your employment because you don't want to pay a livable wage. This is how we build communities. We were able to do it back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, all across the spectrum, Sherry, I worked with your dad.
Yes, you did.
And he was one of my buddies. But that was a good job that was able to raise a family, pay the mortgage, buy a car, go on vacation. That's what our people deserve. That's what this industry needs to do. And we're not there yet, but I'm doing everything I possibly can to try to force it into that area.
So what do you think about the North Point development then?
North Point lied to me. That's what they did.
Okay.
They came into my office back down in Springfield in May of whenever they started in Elwood, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Propped up this big project. I asked them flat out, are you looking for any type of TIFs and or tax abatements? Nope, we're not doing any of that. Secondly, I asked them, would you be willing to sign on to a recognition clause? And they're like, what's that? I says, if a union comes in and wants to organize one of your facilities, that you do not oppose it, that you stay out of it. Let the member or the people decide one way or another. Well, we can't do that. I says, you got a project labor agreement. Why can't you do this? Well, our renters won't, or whoever, tenants won't buy into that. He says, well, then we've got a problem. When they went to Elwood with their annexation agreement, whatever, that was that 3-day meeting that went over, each meeting was 8 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
I got up and spoke, and I called them out. You lied to me in my office, because the first thing on their thing was a TIF, and the second was tax abatements. I don't have much respect for North Point. And secondly, my biggest issue is they're wanting to put a 2,800 acre industrial park that's going to do nothing but feed trucks in and trucks out that are 8 miles away from either interstate. And that's where I've been.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I have a question for you. What's your views on the investigation of Speaker Madigan?
What's
What's your views on the investigation of Speaker Michael Madigan?
Should have known we were going to ask.
You had to know.
And that's fine. Here's what I'm going to say is that there's a lot of accusations that are going around.
Mm-hmm.
He has been implicated in it. He has not been indicted.
Right.
The implications came out probably about 6 months ago. I've got full confidence in the U.S. Attorney's Office that is going to find where there's been criminal activity and there's been no indictment. So that tells me that, you know, whatever ComEd admitted to or said they were going to do or what they were trying to do, there was no directive from the speaker.
Okay.
I've known the man now for pretty much the better part of 10 years. And I don't, that's not how the guy operates. And you can put it on Facebook and whatever, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The man stays within the law. Is he a powerful guy? Yeah. Not going to disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But does he do stuff that's illegal? No. I can't see that.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If he ends up getting indicted, then I'll be one of the first ones to say, hey, Speaker, it's time to go. But right now, it's a witch hunt. He's a guy that's been there that knows how the process works. And the other side of the aisle has not been able to penetrate that. And even when they've had the advantages of it in it,
Okay.
which I can go into a whole lot of history of the Illinois.
Because we have a couple more questions we want to get through, but we want to get your opinion on that. One of the things locally is that what's your views on holding town hall meetings to update the constituents on pressing matters, you know, that's going on? You know,
I'm all for it.
Have you done it?
Well, no, I haven't.
Okay. Is that something you would commit to doing in this next?
I can do it whenever anybody wants. I mean, I go to the, the local neighborhood associations. Do I host something myself? No, I haven't. One, it's a cost that I have to pertain. And secondly, there's not a lot of people to show up to them. And that's God's honest truth. So, I'm better off going out into the community and talking to the neighborhood associations or, whatever. And if there's something that somebody wants me to come to, I'm more than happy to do it. Anytime. All you have to do is invite me and let me know what's going on.
Okay. Sherry?
Well, and as a resident in your district, I would like to see a couple town hall meetings. I would like to, but like you said, I can see the attendance thing, but I think it's important that people know that you're trying to do that anyway, because I don't always go to some of the neighborhood meetings myself, and I wouldn't get a chance to see exactly what you're doing. I do get your newsletter. I am one of those people that actually reads what's going on. but I think in order to get more involvement, I would like to see that. That would be good.
Okay.
Good.
So it sounds like you've got a lot of accomplishments.
Here's what I'll tell you is that's something I will do this spring when hopefully when things lighten up a little bit.
With the COVID, yeah.
And even if it doesn't, you can do it live on Facebook. You know, I mean, the thing.
I don't do Facebook.
You know, but you have to make it conducive for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whatever it takes. I know, because that's what the people, most of the people were saying when we were out there on the campaign trail, as we call it, because they don't see enough of their representatives in their communities. And like I said, if you work 8-10-hour days, you're not going to probably go to a community meeting, but you know, you still have to find a way to, you know, keep them engaged. So what is your plan for the next term? You got 1 minute for that. What do you plan on doing in your next term?
So my next term, one, I've got to get an energy bill passed that keeps all of our assets open, the jobs that they have still flowing while we try to transition into new renewable energy. The second thing on my plate will be there's a telecom, and this is inside politics, but that's what I'm going to be consumed with, is the telecom and cable rewrite is expiring this next upcoming year. And then on top of that will be small cells. So with the 5G integration into the telecom system, I'm going to have my hands full with that. And like I said, I chair public utilities, so that's pretty much where I'm at. Secondly is making sure that the dollars that are being released in the capital fund are going to where they need to be going. And again, we've got promised a lot of money to make sure that that continues. The I-80 process is in place. In fact, I had a conversation with the Secretary of Transportation yesterday, and the letting for the bridges for Rowell, Hickory Creek, and Richard Street are going to be released next month. So that construction will probably start happening in the spring. So, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. And then working with the residents of, the southeastern end of Joliet with the Des Plaines River Bridge, we're still in communication with them and trying to make sure that things get taken care of. So as far as replacement and whatnot. So.
Okay. So even with those jobs, because those are jobs, you know, when that construction, all that stuff starts, those are jobs. So one of the things with, you know, just like a town hall meeting or what have you, letting people know, you know, when those jobs become available, because that's important. That's, you know, that's definitely, definitely important. I mean, that's.
Well, and so here's what I'll tell you I've been working on. Okay. And I've been working in
1 minute.
Okay. Well, I've been working in lockstep with Marcus Evans, representative out of the south side of Chicago, who chairs labor. And one of the big issues that we've been facing is diversity within the building trades. And we got a plan put together that works within the Illinois Works program that we put in for the capital bill to deal with this. But to make sure that we've got, one, vocational training in our high schools, vocational training in our community colleges, and then the access and programs in place, whether it's community-based and or educational-based, to get these folks the availability to get into the building trades through the apprenticeship programs. And that's been a top priority. It's one of the biggest hurdles that we've had to face moving through not only this capital bill, but other pieces of legislation, including the energy bill, going forward. So one of those things is making sure that outreach happens, and then putting in basically a whether it's a what do you want to call it, a program or a white sheet or whatever, that these entities that are hiring people have to achieve these certain goals of outreach to try to bring in, you know, the diversity within their specific trades. Otherwise, they aren't eligible for those jobs anymore.
Right.
And so we've got some pretty strong language coming forward that should happen in this veto session.
That's good.
That's going to address a lot of those issues. And it's, I mean, ladies, this is my district.
Absolutely.
I know my district, and
Sounds like it.
Yes, definitely.
This is the things that we need to take care of. So,
You're right.
Well, let me ask you this. How can people get in contact with you if they wanted to, you know, have you come out to just a local organization and speak, or if they just wanted to come and speak with you?
you call my office.
You have a Joliet office, right?
Yeah. My
Okay.
office is over on Springfield Avenue, over there
Okay.
across from the hospital, or
Okay.
just quick kitty corner of the hospital, St.
Mhm.
Joe's. 815-730-8600, or State Rep Larry Walsh Jr. at gmail.com. Nancy Pullman is my office manager. Does very good job of constituent services. Things scheduled that we need to do.
Wonderful.
And that's how we did this tonight. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to join us this evening on the call. At least it gives the constituents an opportunity to actually hear you and
Right.
be accountable for some of the things that you said that you're actually, you know, working on. So with that being said, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time.
Well, thank you, ladies. I thought we were going to be here for a couple hours.
Oh,
No.
no. Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. So
All
have
right.
a wonderful evening. Thank you.
All right.
And we'll see you on the other side.
All right. Well, make
All
sure
right.
everybody gets out to vote. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's right. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
You know what? You got every opportunity. That's one of the
That's
things
right.
we've done, is to make sure that people have got that opportunity. So do it.
And we appreciate
Absolutely.
All
that.
right.
Have a
All
great
right.
evening, sir.
All right. Call
Bye-bye.
me anytime.
Bye-bye.
Okay.